The story of Parker Schnabel's claim is unlike anything seen in modern gold mining. Deep in the Yukon, Parker and his team faced one of the hardest mining seasons of their lives. Equipment broke down constantly, weather conditions were brutal, and even the rising cost of fuel threatened to halt operations. Despite these challenges, Parker pushed forward with determination that few could match. Every ounce of gold he found was a result of careful planning, relentless effort, and years of experience. Failure was not an option, and every setback he faced was met with resolve. What he was about to discover would not only prove his skills, but would change the gold mining world forever. Parker returned to a claim that many others had written off as worthless. For over 50 years, this piece of land had been ignored by miners who failed to see its potential. But Parker had a different approach. He relied not on luck or rumors, but on careful analysis, intuition, and experience. Every dig, every scoop of soil, and every decision was calculated. For 4 days, he worked almost alone, navigating through frozen ground, unstable tunnels, and dangerous areas that had claimed the hopes of miners before him. Each moment of risk was worth it, and soon the result of his efforts became clear. The discovery itself was breathtaking. Parker uncovered raw gold that was estimated to be worth $75 million. This was not ordinary gold that could be found in random pockets. It was concentrated, dense, and abundant in a way that modern mining science had rarely predicted. The find was so incredible that even veteran miners and longtime fans were shocked. What had been written off as impossible, Parker had made real through skill, courage, and perseverance. This claim demonstrated that sometimes intuition and hard work could surpass experience and tradition. Parker's journey to this discovery was shaped by the challenges he had faced over his career. Earlier seasons of mining had tested him in ways most people could not imagine. He had extracted over 7,000 ounces from Scriber Creek, a haul worth nearly $10 million. At that time, Parker had already become one of the youngest millionaires in the mining world, but even that accomplishment could not compare to what he was about to achieve. His experience taught him that success in gold mining was never guaranteed. Each season required preparation, skill, and a willingness to take risks that others might avoid. As Parker moved deeper into the claim, he relied on all the tools and resources at his disposal. Satellite imaging, portable spectrometers, and careful analysis of old maps and journals guided him. Many of these tools were modern, but the knowledge Parker gained from studying past miners was equally important. Journals left by miners who had disappeared decades earlier provided warnings, tips, and sometimes clues to where the richest gold could be found. Parker cross-referenced these notes with his data and made careful plans to avoid the mistakes that had trapped previous miners. The terrain itself presented unique challenges. The Yukon is known for its harsh environment, and the claim Parker was working on was particularly unforgiving. Frost layers, frozen water lines, and unstable soil made every step dangerous. Parker had to be strategic. He used salvaged planks and heavy tarps to insulate machinery, improvised heat exchangers to keep water flowing, and reinforced tunnels to prevent collapses. Every action was calculated to reduce risk while maximizing the potential to uncover gold. The level of planning and adaptation required in this environment was extraordinary. Even the first nights in the claim were tense and exhausting. Parker worked through the cold and isolation, guided only by his headlamp and knowledge of the tunnels. Shadows and reflections from the frost made the environment feel eerie, and at times it seemed almost as though the mine itself was testing him. Yet Parker persisted. Every bucket of soil moved, every scoop of rock analyzed, brought him closer to the incredible discovery that awaited. The mine demanded patience, precision, and courage, and Parker was determined to meet that challenge. By the third night, the true scale of the discovery began to reveal itself. Deep beneath the frozen ground, Parker's excavator uncovered an underground lake. This was no ordinary pool of water. It shimmered with particles of gold suspended in the water. The concentration and size of this deposit were unlike anything seen before. Using makeshift platforms and careful planning, Parker was able to access the lake safely. Even a small slip could have been fatal, but his experience and preparation allowed him to proceed methodically. The lake itself contained enormous wealth. Nuggets of gold lay beneath the surface, dense and heavy. Beyond the gold, Parker found relics that had been preserved in the frozen waters for decades. 800 coins, old mining tools, and fragments of journals were recovered. These artifacts revealed a history of mining and human effort that had been hidden from the world. The discovery was not only valuable in terms of gold, but also significant historically. It showed that the Yukon still held secrets waiting for those brave and skilled enough to uncover them. Parker's achievement was the result of more than luck. It was the combination of hard work, intelligence, and intuition. He studied the terrain, used modern tools, and respected the lessons of miners who came before him. Every step in the claim was intentional. Every calculation and observation led him closer to a discovery that many had thought impossible. The claim was no longer just a piece of land. It had become a carefully mapped puzzle, waiting for the right miner to unlock its treasures. This claim redefined what was possible in modern gold mining. Parker's discovery demonstrated that even in well-known mining regions, untouched wealth could exist. It reminded the world that preparation, focus, and relentless effort could yield results beyond imagination. The discovery also raised new questions about the Yukon's history. Who had mined here before? How much had been lost to time and frost? What other hidden deposits might still exist in the frozen landscape? Parker's find opened the door to possibilities that extended beyond gold. As Parker continued to explore the claim, he realized that every detail mattered. The underground lake had revealed the richest deposits, but the surrounding tunnels were equally important. Small veins of gold ran along the edges, hidden in cracks and crevices that only careful inspection could uncover. Parker treated every scoop of soil and every fragment of rock as a potential treasure. His experience taught him that even the smallest signs could lead to significant finds. What appeared insignificant at first glance often held clues to larger deposits waiting to be discovered. The work required extreme focus. Parker spent hours studying the structure of the tunnels, noting weaknesses in the walls and ceilings, and reinforcing areas that might collapse. The Yukon's frozen ground was unpredictable. Layers of ice and rock shifted under pressure, and sudden cracks could block access to valuable areas. Every movement of machinery was deliberate. Parker's understanding of geology and mining patterns allowed him to predict where the gold was most likely to be concentrated. This combination of observation, intuition, and technical skill was the key to his success. Parker's team played a crucial role in the operation, even though much of the work was done by him personally. Each member had a specific task, whether it was monitoring machinery, checking soil samples, or analyzing maps and journals. Communication was essential. A single mistake could not only slow progress, but could also be dangerous. The team worked in unison, following Parker's guidance and ensuring that each step was carefully executed. The cooperation and trust among the team members created an environment where risks could be managed and discoveries could be maximized. The extreme conditions added to the challenge. The Yukon's freezing temperatures made even simple tasks difficult. Water lines froze, machinery became sluggish, and frost covered the ground in thick layers that concealed hidden hazards. Parker adapted to these conditions, using insulated tubing, heaters, and reinforced platforms to keep operations moving. Every adjustment was made with precision. Even a small miscalculation could have caused equipment failure or a dangerous collapse. The harsh environment tested not only physical endurance, but also mental resilience. Parker had to remain alert, patient, and confident in his decisions. The discovery of the underground lake transformed the claim. It was more than just a mining site. It was a natural reservoir of wealth hidden beneath centuries of ice and rock. Parker realized that this lake was unique. Gold particles were suspended throughout the water, making it impossible to recover them using conventional methods. He had to innovate. By constructing makeshift floating platforms from salvaged materials, he was able to move safely across the water and access the richest areas. Each nugget recovered was a testament to careful planning and daring execution. Alongside the gold, the relics recovered from the lake were astonishing. Old coins, corroded mining tools, and fragmented journals revealed a hidden history. These artifacts suggested that previous miners had been here long before Parker, but their efforts had been largely unsuccessful. The journals contained notes, warnings, and observations about the land, frozen water, and potential gold deposits. Parker studied them closely, using this historical knowledge to guide his own excavation. The combination of modern technology and historical insight created a roadmap that led him to unprecedented wealth. Parker's meticulous approach extended to every aspect of the claim. He continuously monitored the structural stability of tunnels and platforms. Sensors were used to detect shifting soil, and constant inspections ensured that the tunnels remained safe. Parker understood that rushing could lead to disaster. Every ounce of gold recovered was valuable, but human life and safety were even more important. His careful methods allowed him to maintain progress while minimizing risks, setting an example for modern mining practices. The extraction process itself was intensive. Parker and his team worked long hours, often through the night, to process the gold and relics. Each load of soil, ice, and sediment was analyzed carefully. Gold particles were separated, weighed, and documented. Relics were preserved, cataloged, and stored safely for further study. The sheer volume of material recovered required organization and planning. Parker treated each step as part of a larger mission, understanding that precision and attention to detail were essential for success. The discovery also had a psychological impact on Parker and his team. The realization that they were uncovering something so significant was exhilarating, but it also brought pressure. Success on this scale was rare, and the responsibility of handling it weighed heavily. Every decision carried consequences. The team had to balance excitement with caution. The environment demanded vigilance, and Parker's leadership ensured that the team remained focused, disciplined, and motivated. As the days passed, the claim continued to reveal its secrets. Gold deposits seemed to appear in unexpected places, hidden beneath layers of ice and rock that had remained untouched for generations. Parker's intuition guided him to these areas, but each discovery required careful extraction. The process was slow, deliberate, and physically demanding. Every nugget recovered added to the total value, building toward the staggering $75 million estimate. Parker's commitment to the claim demonstrated the importance of perseverance in mining. Many previous miners had given up, discouraged by harsh conditions, failed equipment, and low yields. Parker, however, combined experience, knowledge, and determination to push beyond what others thought possible. He adapted to every challenge, learned from every setback, and seized opportunities where others had seen only obstacles. His success was a testament to the power of patience, preparation, and persistence in achieving extraordinary results. As Parker pushed further into the claim, the scale of the discovery became even more apparent. The underground lake filled with suspended gold was only the beginning. Around its edges, Parker discovered hidden pockets of gold-rich soil that had been untouched for decades. Some of these pockets were nearly inaccessible, blocked by frozen rock or debris from previous collapses. Each time Parker navigated these obstacles, it required not just strength, but careful planning. He had to use tools, levers, and improvised platforms to reach these areas without damaging the structure or risking his safety. Every movement was calculated, and every decision carried weight, because one mistake could have cost him both time and progress. The discovery of relics alongside the gold added a layer of history to the claim. Parker recovered old mining tools that were rusted but intact, and coins that had been buried for decades. These artifacts told a story of miners who had come before, many of whom had struggled or failed to extract the wealth hidden in the Yukon. Parker examined the journals he found in the frozen tunnels, reading accounts of past expeditions, noting both successes and missteps. These journals revealed the knowledge and missteps of miners who had tried to claim the land but were ultimately unsuccessful. Parker used these insights to guide his excavation, avoiding past errors. Focusing on areas that previous miners had overlooked. The concentration of gold in the claim was unlike anything Parker had seen before. The particles were dense, scattered throughout layers of frozen sediment, and required innovative techniques for recovery. Parker devised ways to safely extract these particles while ensuring they did not get lost in the water or soil. He used small, precise machinery, carefully removing sediment and filtering out the gold. The process was slow, but every nugget recovered reinforced the enormity of the find. Even veteran miners who had seen hundreds of claims marveled at the richness of this site. Parker's ability to combine traditional mining knowledge with modern technology allowed him to uncover wealth that many had assumed was lost forever. The physical and mental challenges of the operation were immense. Parker worked long hours, often in freezing temperatures, with water, ice, and machinery constantly threatening to halt progress. Fatigue set in, but the promise of discovery kept him going. His team, though smaller than in other operations, was well-trained and disciplined, following Parker's guidance with precision. They monitored water levels, soil stability, and tunnel integrity, while also assisting in the delicate recovery of gold. Communication was constant, ensuring that every action was coordinated and safe. The Yukon's harsh environment left no room for mistakes, and Parker's leadership was essential to maintaining efficiency and safety. As the days went by, Parker uncovered even deeper secrets. Beneath the lake and the surrounding tunnels, he discovered additional veins of gold that had been hidden for centuries. These veins were larger and more concentrated than anything he had initially anticipated. The gold shimmered even under the dim light of his headlamp, and Parker could see that these deposits would significantly increase the total value of the claim. Each discovery was carefully documented with precise measurements and notes about location, density, and accessibility. Parker knew that the value of this claim went far beyond money. It was also a historical achievement, showcasing the combination of modern mining skills and centuries-old geological knowledge. The relics found in the deeper layers were equally astonishing. Parker recovered more coins, some dating back a century or more, along with old tools, fragments of journals, and personal items that had been left behind by miners long gone. These artifacts provided a tangible connection to the past, offering clues about who had worked the land before and how they had approached the challenges of mining in such a harsh environment. Parker studied each piece carefully, preserving them for further analysis. The artifacts also served as reminders of the dangers faced by previous miners, reinforcing the importance of caution and careful planning in his own excavation. Parker's approach to mining this claim was methodical and strategic. He never rushed, understanding that haste could result in lost gold or collapsed tunnels. Every day began with careful planning, reviewing maps, journal entries, and previous excavation notes. He would decide on a course of action, then methodically execute it, adjusting as needed based on real-time observations. His experience in the Yukon had taught him the importance of patience and adaptability, and this claim tested both qualities to the fullest. The results of this approach were clear. Each day brought new discoveries, increasing both the gold recovered and the historical value of the site. The underground lake remained the centerpiece of the operation. Parker spent hours navigating its waters, using makeshift platforms to access hard-to-reach areas. The lake revealed clusters of gold that were unusually dense, far beyond what modern mining estimates had predicted. Parker used careful measurements to calculate the potential value of these deposits, and it quickly became clear that the claim was worth millions, likely tens of millions. The sheer volume of gold was overwhelming, and Parker realized that this discovery would redefine what was possible in Yukon mining. It was a combination of skill, intuition, and persistence, allowed him to achieve what others had failed to do for generations. The claim also tested Parker's problem-solving skills. Frozen water, shifting sediment, and fragile tunnels presented constant challenges. He had to innovate on the spot, using materials at hand to stabilize tunnels, redirect water, and safely extract gold. These improvisations required both creativity and technical expertise, and Parker executed them with precision. Every solution was temporary but effective, allowing the operation to continue while maintaining safety. The ability to adapt quickly to changing conditions was a critical factor in the success of the claim, highlighting Parker's expertise and leadership. As Parker continued, he realized that the claim was more than just a source of wealth. It was a living history of the Yukon's mining legacy. Each artifact, each gold nugget, and each tunnel revealed a story of past miners, their struggles, and their ambitions. Parker felt a deep connection to these individuals, understanding the risks they had taken and the knowledge they had left behind. His own discovery was not just about personal gain, it was about continuing a legacy, honoring the efforts of those who had come before, and proving that persistence and skill could uncover what had long been hidden. As Parker progressed deeper into the claim, the true magnitude of what lay beneath became increasingly clear. Beyond the underground lake, he discovered a hidden chamber that appeared untouched for decades, perhaps even longer. The walls were reinforced with old wooden beams, partially preserved by the cold and the ice. Parker examined each beam carefully, noting the craftsmanship and the thought that had gone into creating a stable structure beneath the frozen ground. This chamber seemed deliberately constructed, almost like a vault designed to protect something valuable. Every corner and crevice was examined meticulously, as Parker knew even the smallest oversight could result in lost gold or a dangerous collapse. Inside the chamber, the concentration of gold was astonishing. Nuggets of varying sizes glimmered under his headlamp, scattered across the floor and embedded in the walls. Some pieces were so large that they would have required significant effort for anyone in the past to move them. Parker carefully documented each find, noting its location, size, and estimated value. Every ounce of gold extracted was measured and cataloged. It became clear that this chamber alone could account for millions in gold, possibly even the bulk of the $75 million estimate circulating among miners and observers. The sheer richness of the discovery left Parker momentarily speechless, though he quickly returned to the task at hand, knowing that patience and precision were essential. Parker's team assisted him in setting up temporary platforms, ensuring that he could safely access the far corners of the chamber. These platforms were critical, as the floor beneath was uneven and partially submerged in icy water from seepage. Parker used salvaged materials, planks, and barrels to create stable paths over the water, allowing him to reach every part of the vault. The operation required coordination, as even a small slip could be dangerous. Team members monitored Parker's movements, adjusting the platforms and securing tools while he extracted gold. Every step was carefully measured, and the team communicated constantly to maintain safety and efficiency. The relics Parker found in the chamber added a new layer of historical significance. Alongside gold nuggets, he discovered old coins, rusted mining tools, and fragments of journals that appeared to date back decades. Some coins were even older, possibly from the early 1900s, preserved by the cold and isolation of the chamber. These relics told a story of miners who had ventured into the Yukon, chasing dreams of fortune, but leaving behind only traces of their efforts. Parker carefully preserved these items, knowing that their historical value was as important as the gold itself. Every artifact was documented and photographed, creating a record for future study and verification. As Parker continued excavating, he noticed that the chamber seemed to extend further than initially estimated. The gold deposits appeared to flow into tunnels that had been partially blocked by debris and ice. Parker realized that these tunnels might contain even more wealth hidden for generations. The potential of these untouched tunnels added urgency to his work. He knew that accessing them would require careful planning and innovative solutions. The risk of collapse or flooding was high, but the possibility of uncovering additional treasure made the challenge worth it. Parker and his team began devising strategies to safely clear the blocked tunnels, using pumps, heat sources, and temporary supports to stabilize the structure. The discovery of rare and concentrated gold in these deeper tunnels was breathtaking. As Parker navigated through narrow passages, he used portable machinery to extract gold without disturbing the surrounding structures. The results exceeded all expectations. Pockets of rich ore were uncovered, with some clusters containing larger nuggets than any previously found in the Yukon. Each extraction was carefully measured, and the gold was transported back to the main chamber for processing. Parker's calculations suggested that the deeper tunnels could potentially double the value of the claim, making this discovery one of the most profitable in recent history. Throughout the operation, Parker maintained a balance between speed and caution. He understood that rushing could result in disaster, yet he also knew that the gold's location might become inaccessible if natural shifts occurred. The frozen ground, unstable sediment, and constant seepage of water created a dynamic environment that required constant vigilance. Parker adapted to each challenge, improvising solutions and using both modern tools and traditional mining techniques. His experience in the Yukon allowed him to anticipate potential problems